It all started on a Friday night. She wasn't even supposed to go out. Mia had just quit her boring receptionist job that afternoon, tossed her badge on her boss's desk, and walked out like she'd won something. In reality, she had about $97 left in her bank account and rent due in 6 days, but her best friend Tasha wasn't about to let her sulk at home. "We're going out tonight," she said, holding up a pair of fake lashes like weapons. "Vegas, baby, just for the weekend. You need this." Mia didn't need convincing. With the help of 2 borrowed dresses, 1 beat-up suitcase, and a discount flight that left in 3 hours, they landed in Las Vegas by midnight. By 1:30 a.m. Mia was 5 tequila shots in, laughing louder than she had in months, and dancing like the world owed her something. Lights flashed, music blasted, strangers cheered her on. She wasn't thinking about bills or jobs, or how she'd lie to her landlord, just the way her hair felt flying through the smoky air and how good it felt to stop caring. Then he showed up. At first, she thought he was one of those fake millionaires. Cheap. Suit, rented attitude. But this man was different. Clean-cut, deep voice, dark grey eyes that didn't blink much. He watched her from the bar for a while before finally stepping toward her. "You look like you just lost everything," he said. With a smile, she blinked. "I did." "Good, so did I. Let's celebrate that." They drank more. She didn't ask his name, he didn't ask hers. But every time he looked at her, it felt like he already knew her, deeply, dangerously. She remembered laughing at something stupid he said. Then suddenly, they were in a different club, then in a chapel. "Do you take this woman?" Mia's memory skipped. "I now pronounce you—" More skipping. The next morning, her head pounded like it had been smashed by a brick. She was in a king-sized hotel bed with silk sheets, a wedding ring on her finger, and no clue what had happened. Tasha was nowhere to be seen. Her dress was on the floor, her purse missing, and next to her was him, sleeping like a baby, shirtless, expensive watch on the nightstand. She gasped, shook him awake. "Who the hell are you?" He blinked, stretched. "Morning, wife." She froze. "Wait. We didn't really—" He sat up slowly and pointed to the wall. On it, framed like a nightmare, was a photo of them in a tacky wedding chapel. She wore a crooked veil. He was holding her hand. "That's not real, that's fake, right?" He pulled out his phone, showed her the digital certificate. It was real. Mia's chest tightened. "Who are you?" The smile faded from his face. "I'm Michael Saint," he said. She blinked. "Am I supposed to know that name?" He stared at her like she was joking. Saint Industries, billionaire. One of the richest men on the West Coast. Her blood ran cold. She'd seen that name before. On billboards. In headlines on scandals. "You're that guy, the one who vanished 2 years ago. The one accused of—" He cut her off. "Yeah, that's me." Mia's voice trembled. "What the hell did I just do?" He leaned closer, his voice low, eyes unreadable. "You married me, sweetheart. Now we both have secrets." Mia stared at the man she had just accidentally married, the same man the internet once called the disappearing devil. Her mouth was dry, her hands shaking. All the alcohol had worn off, and what remained was pure, blinding fear. "You're joking, right?" she whispered. "This is some weird prank." Michael Saint sat on the edge of the bed, expression flat. "I don't joke. Not about things. Like marriage." She stood up too fast, the silk sheet falling to the floor. Her heart was racing. "This can't be happening. I don't even know you." "But you married me." "Legally," he said, reaching over to grab his shirt. "So maybe you should get to know me. You're not exactly innocent either." "Innocent?" she scoffed. "What does that mean?" He looked at her slowly, like he was piecing together a puzzle she couldn't see. People don't get drunk and marry strangers unless they're either heartbroken or running from something. Mia's jaw tightened. He wasn't wrong, but he didn't get to say that to her. Not him. "I want out," she said. "An annulment, divorce, whatever it takes." Michael chuckled dryly. "Sure, you can have that, after breakfast." "What?" He walked toward the door, calm as ever. "You'll have to eat first. I don't talk business on an empty stomach. This isn't business, this is my life." But he was already gone. She heard the click of the door and was suddenly alone again, standing in a stranger's penthouse suite, married to a man she knew nothing about, except that he was dangerous, rich, and possibly dangerous in every other way too. She grabbed her phone, which had been left charging on the nightstand. No calls. No messages from Tasha. Just a random group photo from last night at some club with Michael standing right behind her, half smiling, eyes glowing under neon lights. He looked like a predator watching his prey. Mia's hands shook as she dialed. Tasha, no answer. She tried again, still nothing. She wanted to scream. A knock came on the door. She jumped, but when she opened it, it was a uniformed staff member holding a breakfast tray, and beside him stood Michael, now in a charcoal grey suit that looked like it cost more than her apartment. "I figured you'd be hungry," he said, walking past her like he owned the place, which, to be fair, he probably did. "I don't want your food," she muttered. "You'll want what I have to say." She folded her arms, leaning against the wall. "Fine, talk. Then I walk." He sat down at the small round table and gestured for her to join him. "Last night wasn't just a random accident. I picked you." Her stomach dropped. "What?" He took a sip of black coffee. "I needed a wife, fast, the kind no one would expect. Someone real, off the radar, no political ties, no gold-digging. History, someone the public wouldn't suspect." Her voice came out hollow. "Suspect what?" Michael locked eyes with her. "There's a war coming, a corporate one. I needed someone to stand by my side, to confuse my enemies, block a hostile takeover, and clean my image. You were perfect." Mia felt like her mind was splitting. "You used me." He nodded. "Once. And in return you'll get more money than you've ever dreamed of, a new life, your debts paid. Everything you ever wanted." "I didn't ask for any of this." "You didn't have to. You said I do." She pushed back from the table. "You're insane. I want out. Today." Michael's voice turned cold. "You can leave, but if you do, I'll make sure." "The world thinks you trapped me. Drunk, manipulative gold digger. I have cameras, photos, witnesses. You won't get a penny, Mia. You'll get humiliation." Her legs nearly gave out beneath her. He leaned closer, speaking softer now. "Or will you stay 6 months? Smile for the cameras. Let me fix what needs fixing, and then we vanish. You take your millions. I take mine. We both win." She stared at him, sick to her stomach. This wasn't a marriage. It was a deal with the devil, and Mia had already signed her name. Mia didn't remember sitting down, but somehow she ended up in the chair, hands in her lap, heart pounding like a drum in a tight cage. Her brain refused to accept the truth. This wasn't a nightmare she could wake up from. This was her reality. Now, 6 months. That was his offer. Pretend to be the perfect billionaire's wife, smile for the cameras, help fix his public image, and then disappear with a fat check. Walk away richer than her wildest dreams. It should have sounded like a dream come true. It felt like a prison. Michael sipped his coffee like this was just another morning. "Your silence tells me you're smart. That's good. Stupid would have ruined this fast." "You're disgusting," she said under her breath. He smiled. "And you're broke. We all have flaws." She wanted to throw the coffee at him, but something in her gut told her that crossing him wouldn't end well. This man wasn't just rich. He was dangerous in a way that went beyond money. Cold, calculating. Every move he made felt rehearsed. Still, she had questions. Too many. "Why now?" she asked finally. "Why disappear for 2 years and suddenly come back married?" He leaned back in his chair, eyes fixed on her. "Because I was betrayed." "By who?" Michael's jaw twitched, a rare flicker of emotion. "My brother. He leaked things. Financial reports, private emails, half-truths mixed with just enough scandal. Suddenly I was being investigated, my stock tanked, and my board turned on me like wolves. So I vanished, let it all cool off. And now? Now I'm coming back publicly. A changed man, married, settled, human. The press eats that crap up." Mia blinked. "So I'm just part of your PR stunt?" He nodded. Exactly. Every part of her screamed to run, but her thoughts kept circling one ugly truth. She had nothing to return to. No job, no savings, no apartment once rent hit. Even Tasha wasn't answering her phone. She was stuck. But one thing was clear. This man had enemies, and she was about to be dragged into a war she never signed up for. "Fine," she said slowly. 6 months, but I want it in writing. You'll have a contract by tonight, and I want my own lawyer." Michael smirked. "Already hired one for you. Independent, no ties to me." She narrowed her eyes. "How do I know I can trust him?" "You don't," he said, "but you'll learn to." She hated how calm he was, like everything was already decided. After breakfast, he handed her a new phone, a credit card, and a sealed envelope. "These are yours now. You'll have full access to the suite, wardrobe, driver, security. If you want to go somewhere, let Alan know." "Who's Alan?" "My head of security, ex-military, big, bold, quiet. You'll know him when you see him." She took the envelope, suspicious. "What's in this?" "What's in this?" He turned to leave. "Your new name." When the door shut behind him, she ripped it open. Inside was an official-looking document, Mrs. Mia Saint. Her hands trembled as she stared at the name. It was real. She was his. By noon, 2 stylists had shown up. Hair, makeup, nails, clothes she couldn't pronounce. She didn't fight it. She was too numb. If this was her new life, she'd play the part. For now. By 3 p.m., she was standing beside Michael in front of flashing cameras outside a luxury hotel. Paparazzi shouted her name. "Mia, how does it feel to be Mrs. Saint? What drew you to Michael? Is it true you were dating in secret for months?" Michael kept his hand on her back, smiling like they were in love. She did the same, jaw clenched so hard it hurt. He whispered through his teeth, "Smile wider, the vultures are watching." That night, they had dinner at a rooftop restaurant where half the city's elite came to gawk. She wore a diamond necklace she hadn't noticed until it was around her neck, real heavy, probably worth more than her entire childhood home. When they got back to the suite, she asked quietly, "So what now?" "We just pretend until it's over?" Michael looked at her, darker now. "No, now we survive." Mia didn't understand what he meant. Not until the bullets started flying. The sound was sharp, sudden, and unmistakable. Crack, crack, crack. Mia dropped to the floor before she even processed what was happening. Glass shattered. People screamed. The windows of the penthouse suite blew inward, one by one, like someone had taken a shotgun to the sky. Michael was already pulling her by the arm, dragging her behind the thick marble kitchen island. His voice was calm, almost eerily so. "Stay. Down, don't move." "What the hell is happening?" she cried, her ears ringing. "Sniper, South Tower, probably a warning." "Oh, what?" She could barely hear him over the alarm blaring through the suite. Red lights flashed above the exits. Within seconds, 2 massive men burst in, both dressed in black, guns drawn. One of them grabbed Mia and covered her with a bulletproof vest that wasn't there 2 seconds ago. She screamed, tried to fight back, but he held her still like she was weightless. "This is Alan," Michael shouted over the noise. "He's here to keep you alive." Alan didn't say a word, just picked her up and carried her like she was a backpack. They rushed down a narrow hallway she hadn't seen before, a secret door opening behind one of the bookcases. Every breath she took burned. Her head was spinning. A sniper. What kind of billionaire needs a plan for snipers? Once they were inside what looked like a bomb-proof safe room, the heavy door slammed shut. Silence. She collapsed to the floor, trembling. "Is this some kind of joke? What the hell was that?" Michael was already on a phone, barking orders. "I want eyes on that tower. I want that floor cleared. Pull the footage. I want a name in the next 10 minutes. Mia stared at him in disbelief. "You think I'm just going to sit here while people are shooting at us?" "No," he said, hanging up. "You're going to stay alive. That's your job. You said this was about public image. A business war, not guns and bullets." Michael finally looked at her, his face hard as stone. "You don't understand how deep this goes. The man trying to take me down doesn't want lawsuits or handshakes. He wants blood." Mia pressed her back against the wall, shaking her head. I didn't sign up for this. I agreed to pretend to be your wife, not your bullet shield. Michael knelt in front of her. For the first time, his voice lowered. Less businessman, more something else, real maybe. Look, you're in this now. They've seen your face. They know who you are, and if they can't get to me, they'll go through you. She looked up at him, heart pounding. Why would they come after me? Because you're the only part of this that wasn't planned. A wild card. That makes you dangerous to them. Mia swallowed hard. Then why not just let me leave? Let me go home. He shook his head. There's no home anymore, Mia. You crossed the line the minute you took my name. They'll see you as a liability or leverage. She stared at him, realizing just how screwed she really was. And what about you? She asked, voice cracking. Are you protecting me because you care, or because I'm part of your plan? Michael looked away for a second, then back at her. Does it matter? Yes, it did. But before she could push, Alan came in with a phone. We got the footage. South Tower. A woman, red dress, long hair, left the building 5 minutes ago. Clean shot. Professional. Michael frowned. Send it to my tablet and tighten the perimeter. Double it. Mia couldn't help but ask, a woman? Why does that surprise you? Michael's jaw clenched. Because I know who it is. Mia blinked. Who? He didn't answer right away. But when he did, his voice was cold. My ex-fiancée. Mia's stomach dropped like an elevator in free fall. Your what? She whispered, trying to make sense of what she'd just heard. Michael didn't look at her, his jaw clenched, fingers tapping against the table like he was trying to stop himself from smashing something. Alan stood in the corner, arms crossed, face unreadable. My ex-fiancée, Michael repeated, as if it were just another bullet point in a meeting. Her name's Celeste Winters. We were together for 5 years, engaged for 2. Thought I was going to marry her until she sold me out. Mia could barely breathe. You think she tried to kill you? She doesn't try, he said coldly. She finishes. She doesn't miss unless she wants to send a message. Mia's hands were shaking again. So what does that mean, that this was a warning? Michael finally looked at her. It means she knows about you, and now you're in this whether you like it or not. She stood up too fast. No. This is not my fight. I didn't ask for any of this. I didn't even know who you were when I married you. I was drunk, broke, and stupid, and now I'm stuck in some billionaire mafia soap opera? Michael stood too, not angry, just tired. You're not stuck. You're protected. There's a difference. You call this protected? She yelled, pointing to the shattered memory of gunfire. We just got shot at. I was almost killed. Alan's voice broke the tension. She knew the schedule. The press stop, the rooftop dinner, even the suite. That's inside information. Michael nodded. Celeste always did have good ears. Mia felt like the air had been sucked from the room. She's trying to kill me, not just you. Michael didn't deny it. She was supposed to marry me, he said quietly. We were the perfect couple on paper. Power meets power. Our families had money, influence, connections. It was all arranged. Arranged? Mia repeated, disgusted. It's how things work in my world, he said. We build empires, not love stories. And what happened? Mia asked. Why didn't it work? Michael's eyes darkened. She tried to take over mine. When I got wind of it, I walked away. She tried to blackmail me, leak fake documents, accuse me of embezzlement. That's how the investigation started. That's why I disappeared. Mia slowly sat down again, her legs weak. And now, I'm the replacement, she said bitterly. Michael hesitated, then, no, you're the distraction. Celeste plays chess. She thinks 20 moves ahead, but I threw her a curveball she never saw coming. You. She expected me to come back with lawyers, with weapons, with bribes. She didn't expect a wife. Mia laughed bitterly. I'm not a queen on your board, Michael. I'm a pawn. You just dressed me up and hoped she wouldn't notice. She noticed, Alan muttered. Michael nodded slowly. Yeah, she did. Silence fell between them, heavy, suffocating. Mia stared down at her hands, remembering how this all started, laughing at a bar, taking shots with a stranger, thinking she'd finally escaped her dead-end life, and now she was here. Married to a billionaire with enemies, hunted by a woman who kills without blinking, caught in a game she didn't understand. "Is this what your world is?" she asked, voice barely above a whisper. "Deals, betrayals, secrets, and bullets." Michael didn't flinch. "That's the clean version." For a moment he looked tired, almost human, but Mia didn't trust it. "Not anymore." "What happens now?" she asked, voice hard. Michael met her eyes. "Now we prepare. Celeste is making her move. We make ours. And if you want to survive this, Mia, you need to stop thinking like a victim." She stared at him. Something shifted in her then. Rage, maybe, or resolve. She didn't know yet. But one thing was clear. If she was going to be part of this war, she wouldn't go down easy. The next morning, Mia didn't wake up afraid. She woke up angry. She wasn't the same girl who stumbled through a Vegas chapel drunk off tequila and heartbreak. That version of her would have cried, begged, and tried to run. But now she knew the truth. She was a pawn in a billionaire's war, a target with a diamond ring and a fake wife whose face was all over the tabloids. If she wanted to survive, she had to stop reacting. She had to start playing back. By the time Michael walked into the suite's main room, she was already dressed, no longer in borrowed clothes or a stylist's pick, but in a sharp black dress. From the closet she hadn't dared touch before. Her hair was up, her expression unreadable. He paused. "You look different." "Different?" "I feel different," she said. He poured himself coffee. "That usually means trouble." "No," Mia replied calmly. "It means I'm done pretending I'm clueless." He raised an eyebrow. "Oh, I want the full truth," she said. "Everything, not half of it, not the sugar-coated version. If I'm in this, I'm in. But I'm not going to be some scared girl standing behind you while your ex-fiancé tries to blow my head off." Michael studied her. "That's not how this works. The less you know, the safer." She cut him off. "Don't give me that. The less I knew, the more danger I was in. That bullet wasn't meant to scare you. It was meant to kill me. I deserve to know why." He was quiet for a long time. Then he finally nodded. "Fine. You want the truth? You'll get it." They sat, and for the first time Michael talked without filters. He told her about St. Industries, how it wasn't just real estate and luxury tech, but control. His company had built privacy software that government agencies used, devices that tracked people without leaving a trace, AI tools that bent laws in their favor. It was legal, he said, barely, but it made us powerful. Celeste, his ex-fiancée, had wanted more than marriage. She wanted control of the company. When Michael refused, she sabotaged him, sent documents to the feds, triggered audits, leaked internal files to the media, painting him as corrupt. And when he disappeared to rebuild everything from the shadows, she filled the power vacuum with her own people. "She owns 23% of the company now," Michael said. "One more strategic move and she gets majority." Mia blinked. "And where do I come in?" "You gave me credibility," he replied. "Public sympathy, a soft image. The reformed man who found love, not just money. The media's eating it up. Board members are starting to lean back my way." Mia sat with that for a moment. "So all of this is just a show?" "It was," he said, "until someone tried to kill you." She looked away, and then something inside her clicked. "You said she plays chess, right?" Mia asked. "Then let's flip the board." Michael tilted his head. "You want to fight back? I want to win." He smiled faintly. "You don't even know what winning looks like in my world." Mia leaned forward. "Then teach me." For the rest of the day he did. He showed her how Celeste's network operated, how she used old friends, blackmailed allies, and controlled media outlets. Mia learned about St. Industries' board politics, which members were loyal, which were quiet snakes waiting to switch sides. She memorized their names, faces, fears. At night she practiced the smile she'd wear for the next charity gala, where the press would swarm her, and Celeste would likely show her face. Michael warned her that everything from her posture to her earrings would be dissected. "Celeste will be watching," he said. She'll be looking for signs that you're weak. Mia met his eyes. Then I'll make sure she sees something else. He nodded. What? A threat? Later that night, as she lay in bed staring at the ceiling, her phone buzzed. A message from an unknown number. You don't belong in his world, darling. He'll destroy you like he destroyed me. See. Mia didn't reply. She took a screenshot, saved it to a new folder she'd titled War. Then she rolled over, and for the first time since this all began, she smiled. The charity gala was held at a museum that cost more than Mia's entire city block. Golden lights bathed the building in elegance, violins echoed through the marble halls, and cameras clicked from every angle like hungry insects feeding on every smile, every whisper, every lie. Mia stepped out of the black car slowly, one leg at a time, the slit in her emerald green dress catching just enough attention to make every reporter pause. Her heels hit the ground like a warning. Her makeup was flawless, sharp cheekbones, nude lips, smoky eyes that said, "Don't underestimate me." She felt powerful, dead inside, but powerful. Michael walked beside her, hand resting on her lower back, guiding her like a proper husband. But she could feel the tension beneath his perfect exterior. Tonight wasn't just about smiling for cameras. It was war disguised as elegance. Celeste would be here. And this time, she wasn't sending bullets. She was coming in person. Inside, the room buzzed with people who didn't blink at diamonds, the size of ice cubes or scandals that ruined empires. Everyone smiled with teeth. Mia had never seen a room so full of fake affection in her life. But she played her part. "Oh, thank you so much," she gushed when someone complimented her ring. "Michael picked it. I didn't even see the price. Tag, I just said yes." They laughed, flashed photos, called her Mia Saint, like she'd always belonged, but she hadn't forgotten the warning text, or the sniper, or the woman behind it. Then she saw her, Celeste Winters. The woman was stunning, no more than stunning. She looked engineered. Hair like polished obsidian, skin glowing like money, a red silk gown that dripped elegance and menace all at once. She walked through. The room like gravity bent toward her, and she was heading straight for them. Michael went stiff. "Brace yourself." Mia smiled instead. "Let me handle it." Celeste stopped right in front of them, her smile slow and surgical. "Michael," she said, her voice like chilled wine. "Back from the dead. I'm impressed." He gave a polite nod. "Celeste." Then her eyes moved to Mia, scanning every inch of her like a weapon. "And this must be your new wife." Mia stepped forward, hand outstretched. "Mia Saint." Celeste didn't take her hand. "Interesting choice." "Funny," Mia said sweetly. "He said the same thing about you before he found out who you really were." The air around them dropped 10 degrees. Celeste smiled. "Tighter. Oh, I like her." "She's not here to be liked," Michael said flatly. Celeste leaned in, her voice a whisper only Mia could hear. "He'll use you. He always does. When you stop being useful, he'll toss you to the wolves like he did me." Mia leaned closer. "You're wrong. I am the wolf." For a moment, they stared at each other. No words. Just hate dressed in heels. Then Celeste stepped back, turning to Michael. "I'll see you at the board meeting. Don't be late. You'll want to hear what I'm bringing to the table." She walked away, not looking back. The moment she disappeared into the crowd, Michael whispered, "You just poked a sleeping dragon." Mia didn't blink. Good. Let her wake up, angry. Later that night, after the gala, after the cameras were gone and the last glass of champagne had been sipped, Michael and Mia sat on the balcony of the suite, the city lights stretching out below them like fireflies. "You were brilliant tonight," he said quietly. She sipped her wine. "Don't sound surprised." He looked at her and something softened. "You're not what I expected." She glanced at him. "Neither are you." Silence. Then Michael spoke again. "She's planning something. I know that look. She didn't come to be seen. She came to warn us." "She's threatened," Mia said. "Good, let her be." But Michael didn't smile. "She's not just coming for the company anymore, Mia. She's coming for you." Mia's heart skipped. "Let her. I'm not afraid of her." "She's not the type to go after your body," he said slowly. She'll go after your past, your secrets. She'll dig until she finds something that can ruin you. Mia's eyes darkened. Then she'd better dig fast. Because Mia Saint had buried her past a long time ago. But if Celeste wanted to play dirty, she'd dig up bones too. The morning after the gala, Mia woke up to silence. The kind of silence that felt too calm, too careful, like the world was holding its breath. Michael was already gone. A note lay on the nightstand in his tight all-caps handwriting. Board meeting, noon, be ready. It's showtime. But before Mia could even set the paper down, her phone buzzed. Unknown number again. I told you he'd betray you, but I didn't tell you everything. Meet me, alone. See, attached was an address. And a photo. Mia's. Her throat closed. It was her. But not the now her. It was a picture from 3 years ago, standing outside a battered motel, her hands full of stolen money and fear. The photo was grainy, distant, but real. It was from the lowest point of her life. When she'd run from her ex, when she'd made choices that nearly got her killed, no one was supposed to know about that part of her life. She'd changed her name, her hair, her past. But somehow, Celeste had found it, and she was threatening to burn it all down. Mia stared at the message for a long time. Then she got dressed. The address led to a half-abandoned mansion just outside the city. It looked untouched by time and rot, the kind of place where secrets didn't echo. They vanished. Celeste was waiting in the garden, under a blood-red umbrella, sipping champagne like it was her birthright. I was wondering if you'd come, she said without looking up. Most people run when I dig up their dirt. Mia stood across from her, spine straight. You didn't invite me here to talk about my past. Celeste finally looked up. No, I invited you to choose a future. Hers? Mia didn't blink. Meaning? Celeste gestured to a second glass of champagne. Michael is using you. That much is obvious. But what you don't know is how deep the trap goes. Mia said nothing. Let her talk. You think this all happened by accident? The drinks, the chapel, the cameras? You think Michael Saint didn't orchestrate every moment of that night? Mia's stomach turned. You're lying. I'm not, Celeste said calmly. He picked you months ago. He knew your past. He knew you were desperate. He made sure you were in the right place at the right time with the right drink in your hand. You didn't stumble into his world. He pulled you in. Mia wanted to scream. Her chest felt like it might burst open. He's playing a long game, sweetheart, Celeste went on, and when it's over, you'll be the one left bleeding. Mia stared at her. So what do you want from me? Celeste smiled like a cat. Help me destroy him. You have access now. You're inside the fortress. Feed me what I need, documents, passwords, calls, and when it's over, you walk away rich, clean, and free. Or don't, and I'll make sure that photo goes viral before the board meeting ends. Mia took a deep breath. Is that it? That your offer? Celeste leaned closer. It's your only shot. But Mia just smiled. Then here's mine, she said softly. You messed up. Celeste narrowed her eyes. How? Because I already knew Michael chose me on purpose, Mia said, and I let him. Because I have my own reasons. I'm not the girl from that photo anymore. You didn't dig up my secrets. You dug up my armor. Then she pulled out her phone. Oh, and this little chat. Already recorded. Celeste stood, her calm slipping. You little... Mia turned and walked away. She didn't look back. By the time she arrived at the board meeting, Mia had changed again. Sharp white suit. No makeup. No earrings. Just power. The room was filled with old men in tailored suits and fake respect. Michael was at the head of the table, cool as ever, but his eyes flickered when he saw her. You're late, he said. I had business, she replied, and sat down. Celeste entered. Moments later, back to her graceful snake self. She walked to the podium and cleared her throat. I've brought evidence, she said smoothly. Evidence that proves Michael Saint is unfit to lead this company. Fraud, manipulation, hidden offshore accounts. She turned to the screen. and tapped a remote. Nothing happened. Again. Nothing. Michael tilted his head. Having technical issues? Celeste's smile twitched. Then Mia stood. Actually, she said, we've already seen the evidence, yours and mine. The board members all turned. Mia reached into her bag, pulled out a folder, and handed it to the nearest executive. Inside, you'll find a copy of a private recording. In it, Celeste admits to orchestrating a sniper attack, digging up blackmail on shareholders, and attempting to coerce me into committing corporate espionage against my husband. Celeste's face drained of color. Mia smiled sweetly. Also, she called one of you a spineless fossil, not saying who. The room burst into shocked murmurs. Michael leaned back in his chair, arms folded. Celeste's voice cracked. This is a setup. You're right, Mia said, and this time you're the pawn. Celeste was escorted out of the building in handcuffs by federal agents within the hour. The board reinstated Michael. The scandal made headlines for weeks, but the world didn't care about Celeste. They cared about Mia Saint, the woman who stood beside a disgraced billionaire and didn't flinch, the woman who helped him reclaim his empire and crushed his enemies. They called her the Ice Queen, the silent strategist, the unexpected threat. But behind the headlines, when the lights were off and the cameras gone, Mia looked at Michael and T. Finally asked, "Did you plan all of it?" He didn't lie. "I did," he said, "but I didn't expect to fall for you." She didn't smile, just whispered, "Good." Then she leaned in, kissed him like war, and whispered one last thing in his ear, "Because I planned this too."